and I did a previous video on Silver Money Investment Group, and here's a summary of my experience with them from 2014. So I just wanted to try their services for a year to give it a fair shake, and this is the summary. So I'm not really saying it's good or bad. It had very good and a little bad aspects, but I'm just saying this is my experience. So so I started out on the $100 plan. So every month I signed up in mid-January. So for January, I didn't make any purchases. The actual start month was February. So like I said, $100. Here's the ounces that were purchased. Here's the price which they were bought for, spot price at the time. And then the type of coin that they purchased, the total money, the fees involved, and the total invested. So the total actually used to buy silver, which is $83, or 100 minus the fees, or the purchased amount times the price bought. So we went along like this for a couple months. Now on April, I canceled the $100 plan. I changed to the $50 plan. But the $100, I canceled it late in the game. So the $100, and I knew this, So the $100 was already there, and then I started the 50. So that's why it's 150. And that's why it's 26 in fees, because it's the fees from the 100 plus the fees from the 50. $17 and $9, so $26 in fees. Okay, so the last month for the $100 purchase was in April. After that, it's $50 every month. So you can see the amounts. So, the spot price fluctuated. The price that they were bought for fluctuated, so the number of ounces fluctuated. From April on down through the rest of the year, it was OPM rounds. What else? So in November, a couple things happened, which I didn't care for, which were, most likely beyond their control, but nevertheless. So they increased their fees across all plans. But for the plan that I was on, it increased the fees from $9 to $12. They said to account for silver premiums. But also, they were not bought by... These numbers here are not the spot price. They couldn't get the spot price. So in my opinion, they broke their, spot price guarantee. Now, I think they told me that was beyond their control, that it was just the dealers that were doing that. But nevertheless, if you have a spot price guarantee and it's not guaranteed, then it's not a guarantee. So, but, again, I knew I just wanted to try it for a year. So the fact that it happened towards the end of the year, it's like, okay, that's fine, whatever. But anyway, so fees increased from 9 to 12 to account for premiums. My auto, since I switched lots of plans from the 100 to the 50, I had a 150 at one time, my auto ship was 30 ounces. So at the end of the year, I had 31.2823 ounces. So my 31 ounces were auto shipped out in December. And I guess the 0.2823, which is currently worth, I have the spot price of silver in this cell, in this spreadsheet, currently worth about $4.67. I guess that was left on the table. But anyways, throughout this whole time, they're adding up these fractional ounces. And then at the end, they give you the, 31 ounces. So that's pretty cool. Because if they didn't add up the fractional ounces, I would have obtained, 4 ounces, 3 ounces, 6 ounces, 2 ounces, 2 ounces, 1 ounce, 2 ounce, 2 ounce, 2 ounce, 2 ounce, 2 ounce. Fix my typos. So I'm saying that if they didn't keep track of this fractional ounces, I would only get, instead of 4.2805, I'd only get 4. Instead of 3.8658, I'd only get 3, and so forth. So to be fair, they're adding up 1, 2, 3, 4. They're adding up those fractional ounces along the way. So I would have only received 28 ounces instead of 31 ounces. Okay? So it's like I got an extra 3 ounces, so to speak. Anyway, so total spent was, so total ounces, 31. Total I spent was $750. Total in fees was $138. The total I invested on silver itself was $612. So like I said, they auto shipped out on December. What else? The current value of what I have is the 31 times the spot price of silver, which is $517. Oh, my average cost is the purchased ounces times the price bought divided by, whoops, did I get that wrong? Yeah, purchased ounce divided times the price bought divided by the total ounces. So my average cost was $19.63. I take some ratios of the value to how much I spent, and the value divided by the total invested, and then the fees to the total, just for my own records. Okay, so I have a note here. Yeah, in November they increased fees to account for silver premiums, and in my opinion, they broke their spot price guarantee. So when I changed in my spreadsheet that I had the previous video, when I changed the fee from $9 to $12, my cost analysis identified online shipping without storage also as a good option for buying silver. So one bad thing too was, you know, I ended up receiving the metals at the end of the first week in February. So it was so-called auto-shipped in December, but I didn't receive it till the first week in February. But to their credit, another good thing about them is they said I purchased Indian heads and OPM rounds, but when they sent them, they sent that amount of Philharmonics and maples. So I appreciate that quite a bit. I mean, that's very nice, very nice. And like I said, they're all in airtights. Because yeah, I'd rather have maples and Philharmonics any day than Indian heads and OPM rounds, even though those are good rounds. I like having things with face value also. So I added this up. I have some cells in my spreadsheet that calculate the face value for Philharmonics. So they convert euros to dollars based on the current exchange rates, and convert Canadian dollars into US dollars, again based on the exchange rates. So when I add that up, I get that just because they sent me these government coins, I got about $98.69 in face value. So to me, that's a nice bonus. That's a very nice thing that they did. Let's see. So another thing was, okay, so these ratios you want to be, of course, over 1. You want the value to be more than what you spent. So I just take the reciprocal of that and say, okay, here's the current spot price of silver, $16.53. If I multiply it by the total spent divided by the total value, this 1.45, that means if the spot price increases to about $24, I would break even. That is, this total spent and this total value would be the same. So that's what this first couple lines does here. Here, I just do the exact same thing and say spot price needs to increase to $19.58 to get the total invested to equal the total value. So that's just me kind of saying, like, let me just assume that these fees are a complete overhead or sunk, a lost cost, whatever. Like I ignore the fees pretty much. Now here I say, okay, here's the total value with the face value added. So that's this total value, and then I add the $100 in face value to it. Because the face value is like a bonus, to me anyways. So now I calculate the ratios of the total spent divided by this grand total value, and now the total invested divided by this total value divided by this grand total, this grand total divided by the total invested, and say, for me to break even with, so to do kind of this analysis up here, but now I include face value, instead of increasing to $24, spot price only needs to increase to $20, a little over $20, for this total value to equal this total spent. Okay, and I'm ahead of the game when you compare the total invested to this grand total, right? I mean, pretty much it says, you know, spot price can decrease by 10 cents from the current spot price, and I'd still break even. So if I ignore fees, because I've included face value, I kind of broke even already. Okay, so I hope that analysis made some sense. But basically what I would look at is, in my opinion, I would not ignore fees. There's no way. I would say in my analyses, I do include face value, because just realistically, you have coins out there like, you know, the $100 bison coin, say it's a 1 ounce, that you could sell it for over $100 easy, compared to another silver coin that's 1 ounce that has no face value, or $1 face value. So realistically, we need to take face value into account. So there were a couple hang-ups here with, you know, it took a long time to receive, or longer than I expected, I should say. The spot price guarantee was broke, and, you know, again, I believe them when they say it was, you know, the dealers and the premium increase and stuff. That's fine. I mean, I'm just reporting what happened, you know. But I think, you know, they so-called redeemed themselves when they sent the Philharmonics and the Maples. I appreciate that quite a bit. So yeah, I would say for me to so-called break even on this, I would have to have silver to get to $20, a little over $20, and I would say that this investment was worthwhile in terms of the dollar amounts involved. It's always worthwhile if you're just accumulating silver, right? Anyways, I hope that helped. I just didn't want to, you know, with my previous video, say that everything was good or everything was bad, but I just wanted to be honest and report my experiences with SMIG for a year. Okay, so that's all I got, and I will see you next video. Bye-bye.